everyone. In this video I'm going to explain what you need to do in order to complete Project Part 2. First things first, if you have not yet submitted Project Part 1 and received my feedback, you need to go back and do that before continuing on here with Project Part 2. Alright, next thing is make sure you've gone over all the material through in weeks 1 through 4, because we're building on all of that information in order to complete Project Part 2. You'll complete Project Part 2 in a Word document. I have attached a file here to the instructions that you can use to answer the questions, but just like all the other assignments, you can do it in your own Word document, a PDF, Google Docs, whatever the case may be. If you cannot use any of those formal types of document services, then reach out to me and we'll figure out the best way for you to complete Project Part 2. Also remember, Project Part 2 is mandatory. You have to submit it in order to pass the class, and you have to get my feedback on it before moving on to Project Part 3. Okay? So here's what Project Part 2 entails. It's all about your thesis statement and your support. So step 1 is state your working thesis statement. Right? That's task A. State your working thesis. Keeping in mind that you can come back and change it and refocus it, but as of right now, what is your thesis statement? If you're unsure about what that means, you need to go back and review the lesson in week 1 on thesis statements, and then reach out to me so that we can, get you to a place where you can come up with a good working thesis statement. Then task B is, what are your reasons to support your claim, your thesis statement? Basically, what are your main points going to be in the body of the essay? Task C asks you to think about possible opposing viewpoints. So list as many as you can think of, things that other people might think or feel or believe about your topic that is in some way different than how you view your topic and what you want to accomplish with your paper. Think about what others might disagree with and list those there. Okay? Step 2 is asking you to look at your support. So task D under step 2 says find 2 to 3 sources to support your claim. Alright? And then, find 2 to 3, the bulleted list there, find 2 to 3 sources to support your claim. List those sources with proper APA reference entry formatting. And underneath each source, use a sentence or two to explain why you want to use that source. And then I've given you 1, 2, 3. So next to number 1 there, your first source that you're going to use, put it in APA format, reference entry, and then underneath it, give me a sentence or two that explains why you want to use that source. And then do that for at least 2 sources. 3 would be great, but at least 2. Task E asks you to find at least 1 source that supports an opposing point of view, or just a different, point of view. List that source in APA format for a reference entry, and then underneath, give me a sentence or two that explains how you plan to use it. And then step 3 is just potential problems. So again, at that moment, that you're completing this assignment, are there any concerns you have, any problems you foresee, any questions you want to ask me, any of that? There's your chance to do it. Alright, so step 1, a few tasks there involving your thesis statement and the reasons that, your main points for your essay. Step 2 is all about the support, which would be your sources. And then step 3 is just potential problems. Alright, it's due Sunday night by 11:59. If you have any questions or, want more clarification on anything, reach out to me right away. This is a really important step towards creating a good foundation for the rough draft of your research paper. So, let's make sure that we are completing this project part as successfully as possible, because the better you do on this, the more effort you put into this, the stronger your foundation is for the rough draft in Project Part 3. Right? So have any questions or concerns, let me know right away. Otherwise, good luck on it, and I'm excited to see where you guys are in your process.